Soon Sarah's wedding is coming up. Are you mentally prepared for it?
What kind of question is that? Mental preparation? Well, I guess I'm ready. Why are you asking such a thing? Is this how you're reaching out after so long? I told you before that I had things I wanted to talk about too.
I just didn't respond because I didn't have anything to say. I just wanted to check if you're ready for the wedding, just to be sure. If you're ready, then that's fine. I don't need to keep bothering you.
What is this message? I thought you were reaching out after such a long time, but you've been saying nothing but terrible things since then. Even so, you better show up for Sarah's wedding. This is her big day, after all.
That's my line. You better act with some decency, even if it's you. At least for that day, show some respect. It's the last chance.
Huh? Last? What do you mean by that?
That's none of your business. See you later, old woman. Don't keep sending me messages like this.
Old woman? Do you even realize you're the older one here?
Will you and Dad both come together to the wedding? I've arranged the seating together. I hope that's okay.
Huh? Why are you worried about that? Of course we'll go together. Don't worry about it.
Mom, you don't need to hide it anymore. Maybe you've been keeping it from me for my sake all this time, but I'm not a kid anymore. I'm 30 now. I can see what's going on between the two of you.
That's not something you need to worry about.
Of course, I can't just ignore it. I'm your only daughter, you know. I do care, but more than that, what I want to say is that you don't need to hide it anymore. I honestly wish you told me sooner. But I know you must have had your own reasons for timing it, right? But now I'm getting married, so from now on, I want you to be more honest with me, like never before.
I didn't know you felt that way. But you're right, you're not a kid anymore. 30 years old. That's quite an age.
30 years? So you and Dad have been together for 30 years now. Isn't that enough time for everything?
I didn't know you were this aware of it. But it's not something we could keep hiding. All right, from now on, I'll be honest and tell you everything.
So there's something I want to say too. Can I say it?
Huh? What is it that you want to say?
I don't feel comfortable saying it in a message. Would you be able to meet in person this weekend or whenever you have time?
I have plenty of time, no plans at all.
Okay, I'll talk to you then.
I'm curious about what it is, but I'll wait.
Mom, weren't you shocked? Now I'm wondering if I said something I shouldn't have. I kind of regret it now.
What are you talking about, Sarah? Shocked? I'm well past being shocked. Long ago. In fact, I should thank you. You've done such a good job collecting all the information after all.
I'm glad you were happy, but I hope I didn't make you feel down.
No, I've long passed the point of being upset, so don't worry. I appreciate what you did. Don't feel guilty about it. We'll handle things our way, and you just focus on your own happiness.
Do you think I can be happy?
What's this, pre-wedding jitters? Why are you feeling insecure now when you're about to get married? And with such a wonderful partner, too.
But can anyone really be happy forever?
Maybe it's our fault you're feeling this way, but happiness is something you create for yourself, and I'm happy. I've been happy all along, thanks to you.
I see. So that's how it is.
Everyone's happiness looks different, you know. Maybe you don't fully understand it now, but that's okay. For now, just enjoy the wedding. I'm looking forward to it too. So I'll see you on the wedding day.
I've put up with this for 30 years. Isn't that enough already?
What are you talking about all of a sudden?
Enough is enough. Set me free already. I want my freedom too. I don't want to go back to that house anymore.
Well, it's fine if you don't come back.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying I don't want to go back because of you. For 30 years I've been living an inconvenient life because of you. Isn't that enough? I'm going to be free now.
Yeah.
Hey, are you listening to me? Our daughter is married now, so there's no reason for us to stay married. I've endured for 30 years, but now I can finally get away from you. We're getting a divorce.
Yeah, I already submitted the divorce papers.
What?
That's what I mean, right? You want a divorce, right? Actually, I'm the one who's been putting up with it. I've already submitted the divorce papers you left for me, and they've been accepted. It's done. We're now officially strangers.
What? You already submitted the divorce papers?
Yeah, I did. It's funny, isn't it? We were both thinking the same thing. When Sarah got married, I was planning to get divorced too, so I already filed the papers before you even said anything. Honestly, I don't understand how you can act like the victim, but now we're strangers, so isn't that great?
What the hell? If that's the case, why didn't you just say it earlier? I don't have to be tied to you anymore. This is the best life ever.
Oh, is that so? Well, I'm glad you feel that way. By the way, don't ever come back to this house.
What?
You said you don't want to come back here, so this is perfect, isn't it? Should I send your things to your lover's house? Or should I send them to your office? Which one do you prefer?
Wait, what are you talking about, lover?
Do you really think you can still hide that? There have been several different people, but you've been cheating all along, haven't you? You didn't put a penny into the house where you live, just kept giving money to your lovers. And you didn't think I would find out? That's what's really surprising.
What the hell? That's just your own assumptions. I won't admit to anything. I'm not cheating. If I admit it, it's over.
If we're divorced, it's fine, isn't it? We're strangers now. I don't have anything else I want to say, but I will be claiming alimony, so make sure you're ready for that.
Huh? Alimony? Are you kidding? There's no way that's happening. You have no proof, and you filed the divorce papers without my consent. So what's this about alimony? Who's going to pay for that? Not me, that's for sure.
Well, you see, I do have proof, and I've already consulted with a lawyer.
Huh? Proof? Lawyer?
Actually, the lawyer said I should wait a little longer before filing the divorce papers, but I really wanted to get this divorce done quickly. Patrick, I couldn't wait to be free of you. Still, I've been preparing to ask for alimony. If you want to avoid a lawsuit, I suggest you start thinking carefully about how to handle this.
Wait a minute, what are you talking about? There's no proof. Did you hire a detective or something? You must have made it all up.
If you want to know how the proof was gathered, why don't you ask Sarah?
Huh? Sarah? Why is Sarah involved in this? We've kept our issues hidden from her all this time. She shouldn't know anything about this.
I thought the same thing, but it seems Sarah knew everything.
Huh? And what's this proof?
A few days before Sarah's wedding, she contacted me. When I went to meet her, she handed me photos and data that were proof of everything. I don't know how she gathered this evidence, but I do know one thing. She's known everything for a long time. She's just been waiting for me to take action.
Take action?
You've been acting like the victim, saying you've endured for 30 years, asking to be set free, but honestly, aren't you just an idiot?
What did you say? Who are you calling an idiot?
I'm the one who's been putting up with it all this time.
Huh? You?
I've been wanting a divorce for so long. But I waited, thinking of Sarah, until she was married. But in the end, it seems like everything was already known. I should have just divorced you and thrown you away long ago.
Thrown away, huh? What are you talking about? The one who's getting thrown away is you!
Huh? I won't be bothered by a divorce. I don't feel like I'm being thrown away at all. You said you didn't want to come back to this house, so I'm really asking you not to come back. I'll send your things, but they'll be on delivery, so you'll have to pay for them.
That house is also mine! You should be the one leaving!
Did you forget that this house was inherited from my mother?
Huh? Is that so?
Yeah, it's been in my name from the beginning, so it's my house. You don't have any rights here.
Huh? What? So you're not going to give me the house? Fine, I'll just throw away that crappy house. Send my things to the address I told you.
Well, I already sent them last night. And I've already sent a notice about the alimony to your lover's house, too.
Huh? You sent a notice about alimony?
According to Sarah's investigation, you've been married. Your lover didn't know that. Honestly, that's really low. There were several others, too. Apparently some of them were really young. Sarah was shocked. Can you explain why you were after someone younger than Sarah?
Stop it! Don't say weird things! Stop accusing me! What do you mean you contacted my lover? Who did you contact? Why won't you just let me go free?
Let's stop pretending you're the victim. No one's going to feel sorry for you. Oh, by the way, if you don't intend to pay alimony, I'll send the certified letter to your company as well.
Huh? My company has nothing to do with this.
Oh, you're getting anxious now. If you can really deny everything about the affair, then why are you so worried and panicked? There's no need to worry, right?
No, it's because you're saying weird things about my company. That's why I'm panicking. It doesn't even make sense.
Well, it doesn't matter if you panic or not. I've already decided to let my lawyer handle everything from here on out, so there's no point in contacting me. Well then, I'm glad we're finally strangers after the divorce. Goodbye then.
Hey! What the hell did you do? You sent that weird message to her house. Because of you, I got kicked out of the house.
Oh, you got here surprisingly quickly.
How can you stay so calm? Do you even realize what you've done?
Well, I think you're the one who's finally admitting what you've done. Wasn't it just earlier you were arrogantly saying something like it was a baseless accusation?
That's not important right now. It's a completely different matter.
It's not different at all.
Anyway, it's because of you that I got kicked out. I can't return to the house until we've talked and resolved this, so I'm going back to your place. You leave. I don't even want to see your face.
What kind of convenient thing are you saying? I'm not letting you into this house. I've changed the locks.
Huh? What are you saying? This is still my house, you know.
No, we're divorced now, so we're strangers, right? I've already sent all my stuff to my new place. It's my house, my name is on the deed, and I've been paying for everything, so you don't have any right there, okay? If you try to break in or something, I'll call the police. Are you okay with that?
The police? This was my home for 30 years! What are you even saying? You're gonna call the police over this? You're gonna get the police involved in our stupid fight?
You're so loud, you bald idiot.
Bald? What are you talking about? I'm not bald.
Anyway, you have no rights to this house, and you can't kick me out. You can't throw me out. It's impossible. If you don't want me to call the police, can you just not come here? If you do, I'll have to get in touch with Sarah, too, and I don't want to involve her any further.
Well, I guess so, but throwing me out of the house and bad-mouthing me to her, too? You really are a wicked woman, aren't you?
Huh? Now you're going to be looking into defamation charges. I'm considering it seriously if you don't stop.
Isn't it true? How far do you plan to push me? I've been putting up with this for 30 years.
I've been putting up with it too. You were cheating and you treated me terribly. I had to live with a husband who could only mock and belittle me for 30 years. This is the result, and honestly, it's not surprising at all. By the way, it was Sarah who introduced me to the lawyer.
What? Sarah did? Why the hell would she do that?
But the truth is, I honestly thought that once we got divorced, that would be enough. I was okay with just cutting ties with you. Luckily, I had the divorce papers ready, so I planned to submit them right after the wedding. But Sarah thought about it, and she really cared, so I decided to do things properly.
I've done everything I could for Sarah as a father, yet this is how you repay me? This is too cruel!
You might have forgotten, but the woman you've been belittling every day, me, was Sarah's precious mother. Isn't this the natural outcome?
But that's...
There's no point in saying anything more. You're over 50 now, so you should be able to handle this yourself. Take care of everything from here on out.
Please, don't be like this. I'm trying to be serious. I've been thinking maybe there's still a way for us to work things out. Please, let's talk properly.
Oh, now you want to talk? After everything? After all these years? What exactly do you want me to say? Do you expect me to just forgive you and go back to the way things were? That's not going to happen. It's too late for that. You've made your choices and I've made mine.
No, that's not what I mean. I didn't want things to get this bad. I never wanted to hurt you. I didn't know how to fix it all.
Fix it? It's too late for that. There is nothing you can fix anymore. You had your chance. You had years, decades even, and what did you do with them? You cheated on me, you disrespected me, you treated me like I wasn't even worth your time. Now you want to pretend that you've suddenly realized your mistakes?
I know it was wrong, but it's hard, okay? You're right, I did mess up, but can't we at least try to make amends? At least try for the sake of Sarah, for the sake of our family?
For Sarah? You're really going to bring her up now? Do you think she doesn't know what you've done? She's been through all of this too. You're not the only one who's been hurt. We both have, and now we both have to live with it. I'm not going to go back. No matter how much you beg.
I don't want to beg. I don't want to be like this. But what am I supposed to do now? Where am I supposed to go? I have nowhere else to turn.
That's not my problem. You should have thought about that before. I am done being your emotional crutch. I've spent enough years holding things together for both of us. Now it's your turn to face the consequences of your actions.
Please, Alyssa, I can't do this on my own. I've realized I messed up and I've been trying to make it right. You're the only person who ever really understood me. I don't want to lose you. I'm sorry for everything I did. Please, don't shut me out like this.
You don't get it, do you? You didn't lose me just now. You lost me years ago. You can't undo the damage you've done. It's not just the affair, it's everything. It's the way you treated me, the way you took me for granted. Do you honestly think a few words can make up for all of that?
A few words? What are you talking about? I never took you for granted. I loved you, Alyssa. I loved you more than anything. I know I messed up, but please let me prove that I can be better. I can change. I can make things right.
No, I don't believe you anymore. You've said that so many times, and every time you have failed. I am tired of hearing your empty promises. You don't get to walk back into my life like everything is fine. I've already started living for myself. I'm happy now, and I am not going to let you drag me back into your mess.
I'm not dragging you anywhere. I just want a chance to make things better. Just one chance, please.
You had your chances, but you didn't take them. This is where we are now, and I've accepted it. You need to accept it too.
I just don't know what to do.
Well, figure it out. You're a grown man. This isn't about us anymore. This is about you taking responsibility for your own life. So pay the alimony, stop bothering me, and get out of my life for good. That's all I ask.
You're right. You're right, Alyssa. I've been a fool, and I'll never be able to make up for what I've done. But I want you to know that I truly regret everything. I'll pay the alimony. I'll do whatever it takes to make this right, even if I can't fix what we had.
Just do it already and don't ever come back. This is the end, and there is no going back.
Mom, are you really sure you don't want to send that certified letter to the company? I thought you wanted to make Dad suffer a little.
Well, it's fine now. I think he's already suffered enough, don't you? He's not getting away without consequences. He's lost everything. He doesn't have a place to live anymore, his savings are all gone, and now he's in debt. And if he ends up losing his job on top of everything else, it'll be a real mess for him. It's not like he's going to be able to find work easily now. I'm not sure where he'll go from here.
Maybe that's true, but you're being too lenient, Mom. I mean, if it were me, I could never forgive him for what he did. 10 years of cheating? How can you just let that go so easily?
You're angry on my behalf, and that's enough for me. But living your life just to get back at someone isn't the way to go. Trust me, it's exhausting. I don't want to spend my life trying to get revenge on him. That's not the kind of person I want to be. And honestly, he's been paying alimony. He's doing what he has to, and it's in installments. That's something at least, and I feel like it's enough. I've made my peace with it, and I'm starting to feel better now. I'm finally starting to feel happy again.
I get that you feel better now, and if you're happy, then I'm happy for you, but still, I just can't get over how much he did to you. How can you just move on so easily from all of it?
I know it's hard, but I've spent so many years suffering, holding on to all of this anger. I've loved like that for far too long, and I don't want to keep holding on to that hate anymore. I just want peace, and I think it's the right thing to do. Besides, it's not like I haven't gotten anything in return. He's paying alimony, and I'm not going to dwell on it anymore. I'm going to focus on the future.
I see what you mean, Mom, but it's hard to just let it go, you know? I still can't understand how you can forgive him for everything. He was with someone else for all that time. Doesn't that hurt?
It does hurt more than you can imagine. But I've had to make a choice. If I want to move forward and live a good life, I can't let him ruin my future. I've already wasted too much time on him. Now it's time to focus on what really matters. Me, my happiness, and what comes next. And you know what? I'm actually feeling a lot more peaceful now. I'm not angry anymore.
If you're happy, that's all that matters. I just want the best for you, Mom. I know I've been upset for you, but you've always been strong. You don't need anyone to take care of you, right?
You're right, you don't need to worry about me. I know I'm strong. But thank you, really. I appreciate that you care. I never thought I'd get to this point. I was so angry for so long, but I've realized that life is too short to keep holding on to all that pain. I don't want to waste any more time.
You're so strong, Mom. I don't know if I could do what you've done. You've been through so much and still you're here, standing tall.
It's not always easy, but I've made it this far, and I'm proud of where I am now. But enough about me. I am so proud of you too, you know. You've always been there for me, even when things were tough. You've been my rock.
I've always tried to be there for you, Mom, but I've also learned a lot from you. I've learned that forgiveness isn't about letting someone off the hook. It's about freeing yourself from the past, and that's what you've done.
Well, thank you for saying that. It's taken me a long time to get to this point, but I think I finally understand it. And I'm happy. For the first time in a long while, I'm really, truly happy. You know, I never expected things to turn out like this, but I think it was the best choice for me.
I'm glad you're happy, Mom. That's all I ever wanted for you. And if anything ever happens, if you ever need me to do anything, just say the word. I'll always be here for you. But I know you're going to be okay on your own. You're stronger than you know.
Thanks, sweetie. I know I can always count on you. But just so you know, if you ever end up in the same situation, you better call me, and I'll make sure I'm around long enough to get that person back. But seriously, I hope nothing like that ever happens to you. I really don't want you to go through the pain I did.
I know, Mom, and I promise I won't ever put you through that. But thank you. You've shown me what it means to stand up for yourself no matter what. You're my inspiration.
You're welcome, dear. Just remember, you deserve to be happy, and don't let anyone make you feel less than that. Now, go live your life the way you want to. That's the best thing you can do. My ex-husband Patrick seemed to be managing to rent a room and get by while continuing to pay alimony to both me and another woman. It's not ideal, but he's somehow surviving, scraping together enough to meet those financial obligations, even though I can't imagine how he manages it all. It's strange, though, thinking about how everything ended between us and how he's now living a life where he's financially tied to both me and another woman. It's almost like he's trying to balance between two worlds, but neither of them really offers him any happiness. I can't say I feel sorry for him. He made his choices and now he's left to deal with the fallout. From what I hear, he's barely managing, but it's his own fault and I am not about to lose sleep over it. What frustrates me even more is that even now I still receive messages from him, messages where he expresses this desperate hope that we can get back together. It's almost like he hasn't fully processed what happened between us, as if he's still clinging to this unrealistic belief that somehow everything could be fixed if he only tried a little harder. He sends these texts, probably hoping that maybe this time I'll have a change of heart, but I've completely ignored him. I haven't even bothered to read them. I don't need to. There's nothing for me to say. There's nothing that could be said to fix anything. What's the point? He doesn't deserve my time or attention anymore. He doesn't understand that I've moved on and that it's over. I've done all the processing I need to, and now there's no turning back. It's not even about holding a grudge. It's simply about realizing that I deserve so much more than what he could ever give me. I'm not going to let his emotional manipulation affect me anymore. He had his chances and he blew them all. Every time he reaches out, it's just a reminder of the years I wasted on him, the years he took for granted. He never truly appreciated me, and I am done trying to make him see things from my perspective. That's the part that gets me the most. He never took responsibility for his actions. It's all about him, and now he's trying to make it seem like we can go back to what we had. But it's too late. It's been too late for a long time. There's nothing left for him here. There's nothing left for me to give. The funny thing is, it's not just me he's been trying to reach out to. I heard from Sarah that he's been messaging her as well. Apparently he's been sending messages, almost as if things could go back to how they were, as if there was no such thing as betrayal or hurt. He seems to be holding on to this belief that if he just reaches out enough, if he just keeps trying, then maybe everything will fall back into place. But Sarah's done with him too. She hasn't responded to him, and she doesn't plan to. She told me that she feels bad for him sometimes, especially when she sees how he's struggling, but she also knows that reaching out to him again would only drag her back into this mess. She can't afford to get emotionally tied up in that again. It's a strange thing seeing someone you once cared about, someone you thought would be a permanent part of your life, trying to hold on to something that's already been lost. It's almost like watching a person desperately flail about in the water, trying to grasp at anything to keep them from sinking. But I've told Sarah the same thing that I've been telling myself. He is not our responsibility anymore. He made his choices, and now he has to deal with the consequences. We've both moved on, and we can't let him drag us back into his emotional turmoil. He's already done enough damage. But I can't help but wonder if he really understands what he's done. Does he truly know the weight of his actions? Has he realized how much pain he's caused, how much he destroyed by making all those selfish decisions? I think it's possible he doesn't. If he really understood the full extent of what he's done, he wouldn't be reaching out like this. He'd understand that the door is closed. He'd realize that no amount of pleading or apologizing is going to change what's already been broken. But maybe he's too wrapped up in his own self-pity to see that. Maybe he's still trying to justify everything in his mind, still looking for ways to make himself feel better, to convince himself that he wasn't entirely in the wrong. Either way, I've made my peace with it. I've spent too many years dealing with his mistakes, with his lies and broken promises, and I'm done with it. I'm not about to go back into that cycle. I've worked hard to move forward, to build a life for myself that's separate from him and his drama. I can't let him undo all the progress I've made just because he's having a hard time facing reality. If he wants to fix his life, he's going to have to do it on his own. I'm not here to rescue him. I'm not here to comfort him. It's not my problem anymore. As for Sarah, I know she's struggling with it too. I can see the conflict in her eyes when she talks about him. Part of her still wants to be the person who helps, who comforts, but she also learned that it's not her job to fix him. She can't afford to get dragged back into his world of chaos and guilt. He's toxic for both of us. And while it's sad that he's in this situation, it's not our responsibility to save him from it. I think part of her still feels sorry for him, but I've reminded her that she can't let that pity turn into something more. He is not the man he used to be, and he doesn't deserve her time or energy. He's shown us who he really is, and it's not someone that we can trust, not someone we can depend on. When I think about him now, I can't help but wonder how he's managing. Is he still juggling alimony payments to both me and the other woman, or has he found a way out of that financial mess? I imagine it's a constant struggle for him, but at the same time, I don't feel bad for him. He's made his bed, and now he has to lie in it. I wonder if he even realizes how his decisions led him to this point. Probably not. He's probably still too caught up in blaming everyone else for his problems, unable to see that the root cause of all his troubles is the person he sees in the mirror. I hope for his sake that one day he comes to terms with it, but it's not something I'm going to lose sleep over. At the end of the day, I am done. I've moved on, and I am not looking back. I've got my own life to live, my own future to plan for, and I am not going to let him hold me back. I don't owe him anything. I don't owe him my forgiveness, my attention, or my emotional energy. He had all of that and more, and he squandered it. So now I'm focusing on myself. I'm focusing on building a life that's healthy, that's free of the toxic drama he brought into our lives. And if he ever realizes the truth, that's on him. I've done everything I can, and now it's time to live my life without him. Sarah is living a happy and peaceful life with her kind, family-oriented husband. They seem to be a perfect match, and their life together reflects the warmth and stability that so many people hope for. From what I can gather, Sarah truly enjoys her everyday routine, where she gets to balance work and household chores in a way that brings her satisfaction and contentment. Her life is settled into a comfortable rhythm, where the simple pleasures of caring for her home, spending time with her husband, and fulfilling her work commitments bring her joy. Each day feels like a small victory in a much larger picture of happiness. As for me, I can't help but sometimes reflect on how my life has turned out. I'll admit I look at Sarah and feel a sense of envy, but not in a way that resents her good fortune. I think more than anything, I wish for the same sense of peace and happiness that she's found. When I think about everything that happened between us, about my marriage and what led to my decision to divorce, I feel a strange mix of relief and gratitude. Despite the pain and the struggles, there's a certain freedom in knowing I made the right decision for myself. I often find myself thinking that maybe, just maybe, I was the one who was really holding on for too long. For so many years, I kept thinking that things would improve, that if I just tried harder, everything would work itself out. I think I convinced myself that I was the one who needed to keep pushing forward, that somehow I was the one who had to make it all work. But looking back now, it's clear to me that I had been enduring far too much for far too long. I had been the one making all the sacrifices, swallowing my own discomfort, trying to make things better when there was no real reason to believe they would be. It's easy to tell myself that I had to be the one to hold things together because it felt like it was my responsibility. But in reality, I was just wearing myself thin. And that, I think, is what made it so hard for me to walk away in the first place. It wasn't that I hadn't tried fixing things. I did. For years, I tried. I tried to communicate, to make compromises, to do whatever I thought was needed to make the relationship work. But over time, I realized that no matter how hard I tried, nothing really changed. And so eventually, I had to come to terms with the fact that staying in that situation wasn't doing anyone any good, least of all me. When I finally made the decision to divorce, it felt like the weight of the world had been lifted from my shoulders. I could breathe again. It wasn't easy, of course, but I knew it was the right choice. I had spent so many years trying to hold everything together, trying to be the one who made it work, that when I finally did let go, it was like stepping into a whole new world. I'm not saying the decision was without its difficulties. It wasn't easy at all. But I came to understand that the longer I stayed in that unhappy situation, the more I was stifling my own happiness, my own growth. The thing is, I was exhausted from carrying the weight of a relationship that wasn't giving me anything in return. And once I let go, I was finally able to focus on myself for a change. I had been so caught up in trying to make it work for someone else that I had neglected my own needs and desires. Once I realized that, it felt like I had opened a door to a whole new chapter of my life. A chapter where I could finally be myself. Now that some time has passed, I find myself appreciating the little things more. I've learned to find joy in the simple moments, like the satisfaction of keeping my home in order, the joy of being able to focus on my work without distractions, and the quiet comfort of knowing I don't have to live with constant tension anymore. I've also learned to surround myself with people who uplift me, people who genuinely care about my well-being. I didn't always have that before, but now it's one of the most important things in my life. I realize now that being surrounded by positivity is essential for my happiness, and it's something I truly value. As for Patrick, I have no ill will towards him, and I do hope that he finds the happiness he's looking for. It's strange, isn't it? After everything that happened between us, after all the hurt and the struggles, I still wish him well. It's a bittersweet feeling, really. I don't want to sound naive or overly sentimental, but there's a part of me that hopes he's found peace too. I know that I had my own role in how things turned out, but I also know that we both had to make our own choices. And sometimes those choices lead us to different paths. I don't think it's so much about forgiveness as it is about understanding that life moves on, and we all need to move with it. If Patrick has found someone who makes him happy, then I'm glad for him. After everything, I can't help but wish him the best. I've learned that harboring anger and resentment only holds me back. It's easy to look back and think about all the things I would have done differently, but in the end, I realize that what's most important is what's happening now. I've moved on, and I hope he has too. Life has a way of pushing us forward, whether we're ready for it or not, and I've learned to accept that, to embrace the future and whatever it holds. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.